I'm gonna give myself a thought, or maybe a dime. Can't forget about my Skrilla or my stick to lay them busters down. My name's Jason, and welcome back to Recovery Junkie. For most of you who probably don't know, parents with children, you probably don't know what I just said, because I really don't know what I just said. So we're going to go over it, and I'm going to introduce you to rap slang terms, and we're going to talk about how rap music, or music in general, basically rap music because I can relate to that, but we're going to talk about rap or music in general and how it influenced me and my behavior. I want to talk about it didn't lead to my addiction or anything like that, but it added fuel to my behavior, and it just kind of, drew me in the wrong direction. But first off, we're going to go over a thought. What is a thought? It's basically a hoe. It can be a man or a woman. It can represent those hoes over there, that hoe over there. So sorry to all the ladies out there who might get offended by that, but that's what it means. Dime is basically, could be a dime piece. That could be a woman. That's an attractive woman. It can also be referred to as a drug slang too. Skrilla, that could be cash. A stick, that could be an assault rifle, or that is an assault rifle. Busta, that's a person who just talks a lot of shit. So, music is very influential to young children, and it's very important to know what music your children listen to, because nowadays, when I was younger, I glorified music a lot, talked about smoking blunts, doing cocaine, drinking scissor, pop and roll, taking X. It influenced me in a way to think that it was okay to do that. And I'm not blaming it. I'm not blaming it at all. But it influenced me. It made me think that it was all right. And I know my parents always told me they tried, watching and monitoring what I was listening to a lot. But obviously I would go by friends or whoever else, and whoever else I was around. So it's very important to know who your friends are hanging around, or basically know who your children are hanging around with. Music nowadays, it's all about objectifying women, drugs. I'm not saying all of it is, but a lot of it is, So be mindful of what your children are listening to. And, a lot of it is expressing their lifestyle. Yes, I understand that. Their feelings, but, a lot of it is fantasy too. A lot of them talk about doing drugs and this and that, but think about it. If these artists were doing all these drugs, wouldn't they be addicts as well? If they were popping all these perks and drinking all this lean and doing all this Molly and whatever else, wouldn't they be almost dying soon? What kind of lifestyle really would that be? I don't know, but the lifestyle I was living doing drugs, I really wasn't happy. Yeah, you might have the money, yeah, you might have the cars, the houses, all the fancy stuff, but I was in a lot of pain and misery, So that's something to think about. But they might be putting on this show, But what's really going on behind the scenes? That's something, obviously to think about. And, I listen to the music now, obviously, and there's a lot of artists out there that talk about feeding drugs to women, and it's just really sad. And I have a very different perspective on music now. Obviously, I can't tell people what to listen to or whatever. They're going to make their own choices, but just don't get caught up in the lifestyle. Obviously, you get, you think this is right, this lifestyle is normal, then it leads to your behavior changing, and you catch a case, something happens, you get thrown in jail, and you down in yourself, and it's a domino effect. Then you start selling drugs, thrown in jail, and it just spirals and it keeps going. You got to pull yourself back, save yourself the trouble. But yeah, it's not just, it's not obviously just rap. I'm not trying to be biased or anything. Obviously there's heavy metal, that is violence. They talk about drugs as well, alternative, they say it's suicidal. So, it's just, you got to be mindful of the music that your children are listening to. I am going to hook you guys up. I'm going to attach links with rap, slang terms. There's verses that these rap terms are used in. I also am going to attach a link on how the brain is affected by music, how teenage behavior is affected with music as well. So, I do notice, that they do talk less about like gang violence in the music nowadays, at least with rap, but they do talk more about drug use and objectifying women, which, I think is just as bad, if not worse, because drug use, promoting drug use is leading to an addiction, which leads to crime, and objectifying women, that's terrible, and not only that, but another thing too that really influenced me when I listened to music, I had a very different respect for authority figures. For police, number one, parents, teachers, anybody of authority figure. And that's just me, that's just speaking from my experience. And I'm fresh off the streets, and music to me is not getting any better. There are things that have changed, like I said, with the gang violence, but children might say yes, they know the difference between right and wrong, but I can't really, my only suggestion here would be, maybe make sure that they're old enough. Obviously, that's a tough call. This is tough because it's so popular. It's really tough. But I just want to be informative, and that's all I can do is just to be informative on this subject, and then leave the ball in whoever's court to make the call. So I just wanted to make a quick video about that, put my input in. you know, like I said, it is very, it was very influential on me. Not, you know, so. But that's all I'm really gonna say about this subject matter. So please, I hope it can help, and thanks for watching. Stay blessed, and I'll leave it at that. Thank you.